I saw death and the man it took. 11 years ago, my family and I lived in an extended stay hotel for a while until we saved up enough to get a place. It was a one-bedroom with 2 sleeping areas, a kitchenette, and bathroom. Some people had lived there for over 10 years by the time we moved there. We made friends with some of the people on the various floors, as well as a couple of the managers. It wasn't home per se, but it was better than being homeless. A few doors down from our room lived an older gentleman who had a young adult son who would visit him maybe once a week. One day, my best friend and I had returned to the hotel from shopping and hanging out. As we pulled into the large driveway, I saw a dark figure looking up at the hotel. It looked like a man and was all black. As we passed it, it looked back at us driving by. I couldn't see its eyes but could still feel it looking. I turned away quickly, feeling a bit of dread in my spirit. I told my friend, "I think I just saw death." Surprisingly, he replied that he had seen it as well, and even pointed to the exact spot where it had been standing. We both looked at one another and remained silent for a minute. I said a quick prayer, asking God to watch over my family and the people in the hotel. A couple days later, there was some commotion in the hallway. My parents and I investigated and found out that the older gentleman that lived in the room a few doors down had died the day before. His son couldn't get him on the phone and had come over. He wouldn't open the door. Worried, he had the manager open the door, and they found his father deceased. It took a few hours before they had the older gentleman's body removed from the room. Later that day, I left the room to sit in the back stairwell to have a private conversation with my good friend that lives in another state. I saw an older man walking slowly down the stairs. He was wearing blue. When he heard me, he looked up at me sadly as I looked down at him. To my shock, I realized only his top portion was visible. He turned back around, kept walking down the stairs, and disappeared. I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe we all have a spirit, or what some call a soul. I've also experienced my fair share of strange and supernatural events in my almost 40 years of life. I had seen death before, and I've seen other things I've shared on here, but that was my first time seeing a spirit leaving to the other side.